Stein-Erik Soelberg. So this is the first case of a documented murder potentially being related to ChatGPT. And in Connecticut earlier this month, the 56-year-old killed his mother before killing himself. And he'd been talking in depth with ChatGPT while suffering an extreme state of paranoia for quite a while. ChatGPT encouraged these kind of paranoid thoughts. So things like, for instance, he believed his mother was trying to drug him using his car ventilation. ChatGPT suggested, yes, this might be a betrayal. He was thinking that his mother was somehow spying on him using the printer. ChatGPT said, yes, the printer might well be a surveillance asset. Eventually, he ended up telling the chatbot that they would be together in another life because he developed an obsession with it. And 3 weeks later, both him and his mother were dead. Now, of course, he was a very sick man, and this was known for a while among the local community. Police knew him. He'd already tried killing himself before. So it's a very different case to that one of Adam Rainey that you mentioned, that 16-year-old boy who committed suicide in April. On Tuesday, his parents, Maria and Matt, filed a lawsuit against OpenAI, claiming ChatGPT had encouraged him to kill himself. Now, his parents knew he was going through a rough time, as is often the case in these cases, but they had no idea that he was having these very disturbed conversations with ChatGPT. The New York Times published some chilling excerpts. For instance, Adam sent ChatGPT a photo of a noose in his cupboard, and the chatbot reacted by saying, "That's not bad at all." At the end of March, Adam said he was going to leave the noose out so someone would try and stop him killing himself, essentially, and the chatbot urged him not to. Now, his mother reacted to seeing all of these messages for the first time, as quoted in the NYT, saying ChatGPT had killed their son.
Now, looking at headlines like this, are these stories becoming more frequent?
Yeah, we have seen these kind of big headlines. There's also been a recent one from last year about a 14-year-old boy who tragically killed himself. There have also been countless anecdotes about other kind of psychological questions around ChatGPT, people falling in love with it. Not just ChatGPT, by the way, all of the other chatbots as well. Falling in love with it, being hospitalized after certain interactions with it, but also, just general concerns about people using it as a kind of cheap therapist, right? Futurism's done some reporting on a help group called the Human Line, which has been set up to deal with these, reach out and help people who think they're going through AI psychosis or know people who they think are. Dozens of people have signed up to this. What I will say is just remember how many people are using these tools now. ChatGPT has 700 million active users every week. There are millions on all of the other ones as well. And every new technology does, of course, bring worries around misuse, violence. Imagine if cars were invented tomorrow, right? The amount of accidents on the road would cause an absolute scandal. But what I would say is the difference with this technology is its emotive power. Just this morning, I was posing as someone with suicidal tendencies to check the kind of response that ChatGPT would give me, and I was moved by the kind of answers it was giving me. It does feel like it really cares, and that's something that we've not seen in any technology in the history of humankind up until this point. So you can see how mentally troubled people might lean into these kind of feedback it's giving.
And what are studies saying about this?
Yeah, so there are increasing numbers of studies on this. Various papers have popped up, but in general, the jury is very much out as to whether these chatbots are good or bad for mental health. We just don't have any definitive data on scale, and these tools can change so quickly. They're so different between themselves that it's incredibly difficult to actually have a clear answer on this. One study from March looked specifically about how different chatbots respond to suicidal ideation and tried to rate the different chatbots based on how they respond to this kind of message, comparing it to how a medical professional would respond. And that one, Google's model at the time was about as good as untrained school staff. OpenAI's was about as good as master's level counselors, and Anthropic's actually exceeded the performance of mental health professionals in this one study. So it just shows that small tweaks to these chatbots' code can have an effect on huge numbers of people's lives.
And there's been reaction in the tech sector. What are tech companies doing about it?
Yeah, so OpenAI has repealed some changes which made the model more sycophantic. That was a big criticism, was that it's just sucking up to everyone and encouraging narcissistic traits. This has actually resulted in the latest model, which some people are saying, oh, well, this has been lobotomized now. It's no longer interesting to interact with. So they're constantly trying to tiptoe this tightrope of changing the model and making it better. One response that they did publish with these news articles recently addressing their concerns, something in that was pulled up by the lawyers of the Rainey family, of the 16-year-old who killed himself. OpenAI says they're trying to make their model more empathetic, but the lawyers said, actually, that's not what's needed. There's too much empathy in these things. They're too easy to connect to. So when you are a deeply troubled person, you feel a connection that perhaps goes too far. And when you start talking to it for a long period of time in an obsessive way, you can actually make the model drop some of its safeguards, because it's dealing with so much data that you've given it that actually it starts to give you perhaps more dangerous answers.